friends, welcome to my channel and I hope you all are keeping well. In our previous classes, we have already studied a lot about computers, operating systems, how they work, how programs are executed. And next class, we had started with an introduction to Python. So, as we are seeing the first chapter, that is getting started with Python, it is very important that you get familiar with and you also install some Python IDEs on your computer so that you are all set to start with programming. Okay, so we are going to start with the first part of installation and configuration of Python IDEs. Now, what are Python IDEs? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Now, when we say integrated development environment, it means it covers all the different features which are necessary for creating a program. So, IDE will contain our Python interpreter, and it will also contain an editor with syntax highlighting, which will be used for creating a program. So you will find all the tools and all the features necessary for developing a full-fledged Python program very easily in IDEs. Now, there are many IDEs of Python which are available. Moreover, because it is open source and cross-platform, it could be used across many platforms, Windows, Linux or Mac based systems. And so we are going to basically discuss 4 different types of IDEs when it comes to Python IDEs. So what are they? Let's see. So we are going to see some common Python IDEs. The first one is the simple Python IDE. That is Python Integrated Development and Learning Environment. Integrated Development and Learning Environment. This is the easiest to use, very easy to install, not heavy on your system, and it can be used very easily to quickly develop applications, and it comes with a fairly good editor with syntax highlighting, and you can work on both interactive and script mode in this. Then the next one is PyCharm. Now, PyCharm is also a very attractive IDE which is provided by JetBrains community. So, they provide both the professional as well as the community version of it. Professional version is basically a paid version where you have to pay some annual subscription to use it, and it comes with some additional features also. Whereas community version is not a paid version, it is a free of cost version which will be used for developing quick development of applications, and it also comes with fairly good number of features. Okay, it may not be as good as professional version, but it contains all the necessary things required to create a Python program. So for you people, this community version is very apt. Now PyCharm doesn't come with an integrated interpreter, it needs the help of two different interpreters. You can either use the Python IDLE interpreter, which we are going to see here, or you can use the Conda interpreter, that is Anaconda interpreter for this. Now we are going to stick to Python IDLE over here. The third one is Anaconda distribution, this one which we were talking about, which is a complete package. It comes with all the different libraries you need for creating a Python program, and within this we are going to work on the Spider IDE, okay, which is basically for development of Python programs. Anaconda distribution is a package which contains IDEs for different languages, out of which we are only going to work on Spider IDE. And the advantage of Anaconda is everything, whatever you need, all the major libraries which you need like NumPy, Matplotlib, they all are already integrated, and they will be always available, and they would be installed automatically when you install Anaconda, but it is a bit heavier on your system. So if you don't mind the space, you can easily install Anaconda and use it. And the fourth one is PyScripter, which we would be seeing towards the end of the session, that is installation and configuration. So in this now, students, your Python works in two modes. The first one is interactive mode, and the second one is the script mode. Now what is the interactive mode? Students, in the interactive mode, it is just like Python listens to your commands. You keep on giving commands, and Python instantly gives you a response for that. Whereas in script mode, what happens is you have to save all the commands together in a script, and you have to save it with a .py extension, and then to run all those commands you have to press F5. Then only all those commands will be executed. Now the advantage is everything could be saved when you are working in script mode, whereas in interactive mode you give one command at a time and that command is executed. So if you are running two or more commands together, you won't be able to save anything in interactive mode. So all these IDEs which we are talking about, they all have both interactive as well as script mode features embedded in them. So in today's class we are going to learn the installation of these two, that is Python IDLE and PyCharm. And in our next class we would be studying the installation and configuration for Anaconda and PyScripter. So let's move on to the computer now.
So let us now see and understand how to install the traditional Python IDLE and the PyCharm IDLE on our computer. In this particular lecture, we are only going to see how to install and use Python IDLE and PyCharm. Throughout this chapter, I am going to explain to you how to install 4 different types of Python IDLEs, Python IDEs, and I am sure you might want to install either one of them and work on your computer. So whichever Python IDE suits your taste better, you can install them on your computer and you can use it as you like. We will first start with the Python IDLE software. I will tell you how it is. The first one which we are going to see is the Python IDLE, the traditional Python IDE. which is provided, which is available free of cost for download, and it's a very light application and very easy to install and easy to use. The other one is PyCharm, which we will be seeing in a short while, but first we are going to see how to install Python IDE. So first, before installing Python IDLE on this computer, we need to make sure that our computer doesn't contain any previous versions of Python IDLE. So if your computer already has any such version, I'll explain how you can check that. So first of all, we'll go to the window button, and here we will go to settings option. If you are using Windows 7 or lesser versions, you can directly just type control panel. So I'll explain that also. You can simply go to the search box. You'll find a search box there and you can type control panel and you'll get the control panel option over there. You can click on it, and once you click on it, you can click on this option over here, that is programs and features. So when you click on programs and features, you will get this dialog box over here where you will be able to install or uninstall any program from your computer. So for this, in order to uninstall Python, to check whether Python is there or not, we are going to first type here Python, and you can see that there are two options which are available. So you can click either one of them and click on uninstall. You can click both of them. Actually, you have to click on both of them and click on uninstall. So I'm going to follow the other method, that is using your settings option over here as I explained. So for this, you need to go to your start button, and then you have to click on the settings button over here, and then you'll get this dialog box opened in front of you. Now for this, you can see the apps option over here. Click on the apps option. You will get this dialog box. In this dialog box, you can see a search list. So in the search list, just type Python and you will get these two options shortlisted over here. So select either one of them and you can click on uninstall. Already Python is installed on my PC. If I switch it on, it already opens. So for you to install Python, you have to first search in the search box Python 3. Whichever option you get, you can click on download and you will be taken to the very first option here. If you don't want to go to the first option, if you are looking for the very latest version, you can click on download Python, python.org, and this is the official website of Python where you will get to install the latest version for Windows over here. If you are looking for some older version, you can click on downloads and you can click on Windows, and here you can go for Python 3.8.5. So over here we have 3.8.5. When you click on this, you can just download, you can just scroll down. So here you can find, if you scroll it down a little bit, you can find all the different versions. So here we have, now because I am using a 64-bit computer, hence I have to click on this version, that is x64. So you can click on any of them. They would be you'll be able to install it on a 64-bit computer as well as a 32-bit computer. So this is an embedded zip file. If you want, you can include this one, or you can simply install it from a installer. So usually zip file is for that purpose. If you do not want to install it on your PC and just want it to stay somewhere in any of the other drives, and whenever you need, you can use it from there without installing on your C drive, because usually due to installing different packages and softwares, C drive tends to become heavier. Okay, and it becomes full and it all the space is exhausted on the C drive. So in order to avoid that, what we can do is we can look for a zip installer. You can click on a zip installer, or for the time being what I'm going to teach you is to install an executable installer. Now you can see over here x86 64, that is, it is suitable for both 64-bit as well as 32-bit computers. So I'll click on this one, and it will ask us to save it somewhere. So I'll be saving it somewhere, maybe in downloads. I'll click on save. Now, how to find out whether your computer is a 64-bit computer or not? So for that, we again go to the window button over here. Click on this option, that is settings. And over here, we will go to system. And when you click on system, you'll get a new dialog box over here. You'll get this option about. When you click on this, you'll be getting device specifications, and in this you will get system type. So this is a 64-bit operating system and x64 based processor. Now there is another way also to see this. For this, we will click here and type control panel. Just click on control panel, and here you will find system option over here. So click on system. When you click on system, you can find this option right here, that is 64-bit. Now, if your system is a 32-bit operating system, you can find that also. Now, a question might be arising in your mind, what is 64-bit and what is 32-bit? So, let me tell you, these are file system specifications on your computer. Okay, that is, these numbers, they define how much RAM can be supported on your computer. Okay, so details about it I will give in another video, but in today's video, let's stick to the topic itself. So here we have 64-bit operating system, and so we are going to stick to a 64-bit setup. So we will close these windows, because now that we have already checked our operating system, if you find 32-bit written over there, you will have to look for a 32-bit installer, and for that this installer will be fine, that is Windows x86 executable installer. So that would be just fine. So now we would go to our downloads folder, and let's check what we have downloaded. So here we are. This is our executable file. All you have to do is just double click on it, because it is already installed on my computer. Hence, I won't be installing it again. I'll just be uh, telling you or explaining to you how this can be done. So here we have this dialog box. Now over here it's asking for an upgrade, because I already have Python installed on my computer. So what I need to do is, instead of this, you will get an install option. All you have to do is just click on that and go on clicking next. So once you go on clicking next, you will easily be able to install Python on your computer. So we are going to this option, that is customize installation. Make sure you have all these options checked and enabled. That is documentation, pip, TCL, TK, idle, Python test suite for all users. Go to next, and here make sure that your install location is this C program files. Usually you will find C app, C programs, app users, app programs, and all these. So instead of that, you have to go to browse. If you find that, you have to go to browse, and within browse you will find the particular location, that is this PC. Within this PC, you have to go to C drive, And within C drive, if it's a 64-bit computer, then you have to click on program files. And if it is a 32-bit computer, there also you will get program files. So if your system is a 64-bit computer, you have to click on program files and click on OK. So here it will be installed, and just click on install and just go on clicking next, and that way your software will be installed on your system. Now because it is already installed on my PC, hence I don't need to install it again. Now to open it, we will go to start, and here if you are using Windows 10, you will find it right at the top in the recent applications. If you don't find it, then what you can do is you can just scroll down and you will find it somewhere here. So I found it over here, Python 3.8, and this is the one which we are looking for, that is Python IDLE. What you can do is right click on this and you will get an option pin from start. What I'll do is I'll first unpin it, and now when I click it, you'll get this option that is pin to start. So when I click on pin to start, it gets pinned to your start menu, and it becomes quite easy for you to handle because you don't have to look for it everywhere. Okay, so you got this option over here, you just have to click this and it will open your Python shell. So this is how it can be installed over here. Now how to use this? So for using this, there are two modes in which Python works. One is the interactive mode, and the second one is the script mode. So for starters, let me start with the interactive mode. So you can see these three symbols over here, greater than symbols, they are actually known as primary prompt. They are known as primary prompt, and it is denoted by this symbol. So this primary prompt is actually used for performing all kinds of operations in Python. Basically, it is a prompt, it's a place which listens for your command. Okay. So whatever command you give, for example, like there you can find something written here, type help, copyright. Suppose I type help over here and press enter, you will get something written over here. It it's telling you to type help using parentheses. So when once you type that, you will get certain things written over here, and you can find help regarding any command over here. Like for example, I type if I suppose write here modules and press enter. So now it is asking me, telling me to wait for some time. So it gathers a list of all the modules. So you can see how it is showing me all the different lists of modules. So this way help can be used. Suppose I want help regarding print command. So I can just type print and I'll get help regarding all the values in print. All whatever thing of that is what is a print function used for, its syntax, how to use it, everything. If you want to quit, just type Q and press enter, and you can come back to your primary prompt. And here it can be used as a basic calculator. Also, I will simply first of all squeeze this screen so that you can see it for yourself. Like I type here 5 plus 6, 11. I type here 78 plus 95 and I get this result. So you can just type any expression and you can get its result instantaneously. So this is your Python shell where you can work. So we will be covering the interactive and the script mode a little later. First of all, I will just concentrate on explaining to you how to install the different IDEs and use them. So this was Python IDLE. Now we will be moving over to PyCharm. Now the problem with PyCharm is it needs a Python interpreter. And for this we will be using the Python 3.8.5 interpreter, which we have already installed on our computer. So we will be using PyCharm for that. So in PyCharm, actually it allows you to create many virtual environments. Virtual environments in the sense is you don't want to make any, you want to create different environments related to your different types of projects on which you are working, and you don't want to disturb any of those settings. So you can create a different environment for working in Python using PyCharm. So what are environments, how we can do all that, that we can cover in the later classes. Right now I will only concentrate on how to install PyCharm. So you can just type here PyCharm download. Now let me tell you one thing, students. In PyCharm, the latest version, that is 2019 version, is only supported by 64-bit operating systems. 2019 version will only be supported by 64-bit Windows. If you want to install it on 32-bit system, you have to go for a lower version and preferably 2018 version. So because I already have a 64-bit computer, so I will be telling you how to install it on a 64-bit system, and then I'll also explain how to install it on a 32-bit system. So we will first, we can see there is this first option over here, download PyCharm. So click on that. Again, you have to first check whether your system is a 32-bit or 64-bit system. If suppose it is a 32-bit system, then you'll have to look for an older version of PyCharm. And for that, you can see right over here, there is an option, other versions. So just click on other versions. And once you click on this other versions, you can see the latest version here is 2020, which is very latest, and it will definitely require a 32-bit system. So we have to scroll down, and from here you can see this is the 2019 version. So just scroll down, and here we are, 2018 version. If you are using a 32-bit system, then this is the most suitable version for you. And in this also you have two different types, professional edition and community edition. Remember, professional edition is usually a paid edition, and our target is to use the free edition, hence we will be using the community edition. So if your system is a Linux based system, because I already told you Python is cross platform, hence it can be used across multiple operating system platforms. So if you are using Linux system, you have to go for this option. If you are using a Mac OS MacBook, you have to go for this option, or else if you are using a Windows, you have to use for this option. So if you click on this option, then it will get downloaded, and installation procedure is almost the same. So I'm going to go for the latest version over here, that is 2020 version, and in that I'm going to look for the community edition. And here you can see you get some options here. Windows exe, Windows with Anaconda plugin. That is, it can window here. PyCharm can either be used in Python. As I told you, PyCharm already needs a Python interpreter. That is the software which does your conversion work. Okay, so for Python interpreter, now Anaconda plugin provides that interpreter. And if you don't want to use the Anaconda interpreter, you can go for a Python, simple Python idle interpreter also. So I'm going to go for a Python idle interpreter. So I'm going to click on Windows exe. And here in downloads, I'm going to save it. And we will wait for some time. As you can see, it is a heavy application of 295 MB. So it is taking quite some time. So we will wait for that. So now you can see over here that PyCharm Community Edition 2020 has been downloaded. So we will go to the appropriate folder and we'll find it over here. So I'll double click on it, and here I'll click on run. what all things you have to do. Let's see. So we have to click on next, and it's asking for a destination folder, so you just have to click on next over here. And now you can see over here a 64-bit launcher. If you are installing a 2018 version, you will also get a 32-bit launcher there. That option is not available in 2019 and higher versions. Make sure that you click on this path also, the one which you can see over here, that is add launchers dir to the path. Click on add open folder as project created associations. This will link all the files with .py extension with PyCharm. Click on next, click on install. We'll just wait for some time. Let PyCharm install on your computer. So now that we have already installed PyCharm, we will open it. So we will go to the start menu, and from here we will select the first option, because all the applications which are recently installed, they are always shown at the top. So what you can do is you can right click it and you can select pin to start, because I've already pinned it to the start menu. So I'll show it to you how it will be. Right click, pin to start, and it will already get pinned to the start menu. So I can click it from here and I can wait for it to open. So you can see over here that in the beginning you will get this kind of a dialog box, and from here you have to make the different settings. So we'll go to configure option over here. We'll go to configure option, and from here we will go to the first option, that is settings. So now you can see one by one that in the beginning, make sure that Python interpreter has been selected. Now the problem with Python interpreter over here with PyCharm is it doesn't come with an integrated interpreter. So we need to attach it to the interpreter, and we also need to set up our working environment. So for this, firstly you can see over here Python interpreter, but we will be going to this drop down menu, and we would be selecting the Python interpreter, which is unfortunately not either of them. So for this we'll go to this button over here, and we'll click on add, and over here you can see the base interpreter which we have to use, that is C program files python 38 python.exe. So this is it, or otherwise we can go to existing interpreter, and from here we can select where the interpreter is. So we can click on C drive, program files, the place where we had installed our Python interpreter. So we need to find this. So here it is. We'll wait for some time so that it gives us, and here we need to install this one, that is python.exe. Click on open, and this is the environment which we are looking for, and I'll click on make available to all the projects, and we'll click on OK, and we'll wait for some time. Let PyCharm make all the settings, and now that our Python interpreter has been added, so you can see that all the various packages are also installed, where we have the MySQL connector, which I had already installed earlier, the pip, that is which is the package manager for Python, and other things. And now we will click on OK, and we'll wait for Python. We'll click on new project. It is showing a default location, but if you don't want that, you can close it and click on new project. And from here I need to select a location where all my Python files would be stored. So for that I will be clicking on this button over here, and I'll go to D drive, and within D drive I'll go to Microsoft Teams. This is the place where I want to save all my files. So for this I will be going to uh, Microsoft Teams. If you don't want this, you can simply go to D drive also, and within D drive you can simply add a new folder, and I'll type here my Python programs, and you can see my Python programs over here. Click on OK, and we will just click on this my Python programs. Click on OK. So the location has been set. It means all my files will be saved over here. Let's see. We'll click on the file explorer. We'll go to my PC, D drive, and here you find this my Python program folder has been created. So this folder would be containing all my Python programs. Now the environment, we need to set up an environment which will consist of a Python interpreter. So we'll click on existing interpreter, and this is the interpreter which we had added earlier. So we'll just click on create, and will wait for PyCharm to load all my components, to configure all my components so that we are ready to work. So you can see that it has loaded everything. It still keeps loading things in the background, as you can see it over here. Certain processes, some tasks are taking place in the background, and you can also see the tip of the day where you can get some quick tips regarding how to properly use PyCharm. So if you want to continue, you can click on next tip. This way you will keep on getting the various tips. If you don't want that, you can just click on don't show tips or click on close, and here you can find that some some code has already been added. If you don't want that code, you can simply click on the close button. Now this is the location which has been added. This is our default location which we have added, where all my Python programs would be saved henceforth. Just click on this drop down arrow, and here you will find already a main has been created. If you want, you can delete this. Right click, and from here you can click on delete. So it will be deleted, and now it is ready to work. Now how to work on it, how to work on its script mode, how to work on it on its interactive mode, we will see it in our next class. For the time being, I will tell you how to use the interactive mode in PyCharm. So for that you need to click on this option, that is Python console. So just click on it, and you might get an option like this where it says that Windows Defender has blocked some features. So what you can do is, instead of public network, just select private network and click on allow access. Let Windows Firewall to allow all communications through the Python console, and here you will find the Python console which is using the Python 3.8 interpreter. So just like I did earlier, you can type anything, like I type help over here. You will get some help option, and this way I can get help regarding anything. Print, input, whichever you want. And if you don't want this, click on Q and you'll get your primary prompt back. It can be used as an inbuilt calculator also, a simple calculator also, and you can use this Python interpreter for typing any command. For example, I can type print hello world, and I'll get the result over here. So this is how you can install and configure PyCharm Python IDE on your computer. So in today's class, we have covered how to install PyCharm as well as how to install our traditional Python interpreter on our computer. In our next class, we will study how to install Anaconda distribution, use the Spider idle over there, and also to install PyScripter. So that's all in today's class. Thank you everyone.
So I hope you have understood how to install Python IDE and PyCharm on your computers. It is very easy. PyCharm is fun to work with provided you are able to successfully install and configure PyCharm. But if you don't want to increase the load on your C drive and just want to stick to a simpler version, then Python IDE is the best option for you. So with this we conclude today's class.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?